Hey, what's going on everyone? Jared here from DroneDJ, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Insta360 Flow 2 Pro. Insta360 was kind enough to send this out to us for us to check out. We're going to go ahead and get it unboxed and do a quick setup for you. Let's go ahead and get into it. All right guys, let's go ahead and get into it. So right off the bat, we've got the main unit here. So Insta360 Flow 2 Pro, Ultimate AI Tracking Stabilizer. And I'm gonna go ahead and say that I've never actually used a iPhone gimbal, or a phone gimbal, I should say. So this is all new to me. So the biggest thing though, because I do keep up on this since I'm a little bit of a camera nerd, is the tracking technology. So over the last couple of years, they've really honed in their software, and the tracking technology on the original Flow I know was pretty amazing. So before we open this guy, let's just put it aside here. Let's see what else they gave us. So we've got a spotlight, which is cool. So I'm assuming this goes into the bottom of the phone. It's USB-C. I imagine there's probably another place you can plug it in on the unit, on the Flow 2 Pro itself. So if you need a light, an external light to help light your situation to get better night shots or sharp shots in a dark environment, that's probably going to be the go-to bet. USB-C charging cable, so I'm assuming this goes from the unit to the phone to keep the phone charged, which is awesome. And the magnetic phone mount, so obviously this is pretty important for the iPhone, so this goes onto the back of the unit, and actually it looks like, I don't know if you can see that, but it looks like it acts as like a kickstand as well, which is kind of cool. So that looks like it connects right to the MagSafe of the phone, so we'll try that out. And then the last thing they sent over was this box. It's white, so I have no idea what this is. So let's go ahead and open this. Ah, a case. Okay, perfect. Well, I am a sucker for a case, so I definitely will appreciate that. I know there's probably a lot of people out there just like me that will appreciate a good case, especially when it's like this and it's fitted for the unit. So super cool. All right guys, now that we have it unboxed, let's go ahead and do a quick setup. Now today we're not going to run through all of the features and the specs and everything that the gimbal offers, but we are going to show you how easy it is to just take it out of the box and get it set up. So the first thing I'm going to do is show you that on the bottom here we have a built-in tripod. That's what these three spots are, and we'll take those out in just a second. But you'll also notice that there is a 1/4-20 mount on the bottom, so you can still add a tripod plate standard, or you could add a selfie stick or any type of extension pole if you're looking for some other type of gimbal moves out of the gimbal. You'll see that these are tripod legs and they're built in. They're pretty flimsy, they feel, and they're aluminum, so I wouldn't put a ton of weight on them, but they're perfect for using just to get the gimbal, to give yourself a rest when you're using the gimbal. You can just set it down, or if you want to put it up and you're setting it in creator mode and you're doing things like the active track that's available inside of the Insta360 app, or also now available inside of the native iPhone camera app, you can do so. You can just set the gimbal on the table and it'll start tracking you. And we'll get into that in just a second. So the first thing I'm going to do is just open up the gimbal, and you'll see that it automatically turns on and calibrates. There's no need to actually power it on. That's how you power it on, is you just open it up. If I wanted to power it off, I would just go ahead, simply close it down, and it powers off. So it's pretty simple to get going. I'm using an iPhone, so I'm going to use the iPhone MagSafe puck. I'm just going to throw it on the back here, and you'll notice that there's an arrow here, and that arrow connects to this red dot, and it should automatically calibrate. There we go. Now a quick few features on just the buttons, and these are pretty standard gimbal operations. If I were to move the gimbal around using the joystick, and then if I wanted to reset the gimbal back to its native position, I would just double tap the trigger here, and it resets the gimbal back to the home base position. And then if I wanted to reorient the gimbal to a landscape mode. If I wanted to shoot in landscape, then I would just double tap this circular arrow button and it should orient the camera. And those are pretty standard gimbal functions. You'll notice that there's a white light here, and there's 4 different modes within inside this circle. It might be kind of hard to see there, but there's a follow mode, which is what it's set to now. And if I hit this button here, it'll go into the pan follow. If I hit it again, it'll go into FPV mode. And then if I hit it once more, it goes into an auto mode, which I believe works best with the Insta360 app. So that's how you get to your different gimbal modes. And then of course, this is the joystick. If I move this around, you'll notice it does the normal joystick things that a gimbal does. And then this red button obviously is the record button. And then there is a jog wheel here, which does various operations, which one of them I believe is zooming in the camera in and out. So we'll go ahead and reset the gimbal again. So I'll double click the trigger and get it reset back to home. And then we'll do this once again to orient it back in portrait mode. One thing I wanted to show you guys before we actually pair the phone is I wanted to show you that the selfie light here, or the accessory light that you can face either direction. So you can face it out when you're in a low light environment and you're filming with the front facing cameras. And then of course you can flip it around to face you if you're doing any type of selfie mode. It's got clips, which is great, so it won't just fall out. And there is a USB port right here on the bottom. I'll just go ahead and put this and you'll see that the light turns on. And it has a couple different modes. So right now I believe we're in the warm setting. If I click this button, it should go to cool. So you have color temperature change, which is great. And then there's a button here with like a little knob on it that, you know, if it's behind the phone and you're feeling around, you can at least feel what the button is. This button I believe is the power button. So if I hold it, should power it off. Hold it back on again, power it on, and then it's a dimmer. So there we go, brighter, super bright, and then back down to the lowest setting. Okay, now I'm gonna show you how to pair the phone using the NFC chip so that you can take advantage of using Apple DockKit, which allows you to control the native camera app within the phone. And of course, there's hundreds of other apps that use Apple DockKit, and you can control those using the gimbal just by connecting it one time, which is awesome. Go ahead and unlock the phone. If I just hold it here, you'll notice that it automatically comes up. It says tracking dock, locating your accessory, connect to Insta360 Flow 2 Pro, connecting. It says configuring your accessory for the first time. This may take a few moments, and we're connected. I believe you only have to do that once. It may happen where you have to reconnect it sometime in the future, but as you can see, it's very easy to do. So go ahead and attach the phone to the gimbal again. Okay, so let's go ahead and launch the camera app. So we are now connected using DockKit. So if I hit the record button, it should launch the camera app. I believe if I hit record, it should start recording. There we go. Stop recording. So you can control the app that way. Okay, and then I'm gonna hit this double arrow and it should flip the camera. And now we're in the normal camera mode on the backside camera. So I believe if I use the jog wheel, it'll actually zoom in and out. Yep. So it's controlling the camera app, which is kind of cool. Now I want to talk about Active Track quickly. We're not going to go into all of the features or all of the parameters of Active Track, but if I click the trigger button here, you'll notice that this green light turns on. If I click it again, it turns off. I'm going to go ahead and hit record here. And you'll notice that when I start moving that the iPhone is following me, and we can show that in the other cameras that it is doing the Active Track. And we are using the native camera app. This is not using any other app, not using the Insta360 app. So that is how the Active Track works. Now, if I go ahead and click the trigger button, it should turn it off. And you'll notice that the green light is gone. And now if I move around, the camera's actually not moving. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for us today here on DroneDJ. If you liked what you saw about the Insta360 Flow 2 Pro, make sure you hit the like button. And if you wanna see anything specific on the full review, make sure you leave us a comment below, and we'll see you on the next one.